My name is Belony. I'm a tax supervisor here at the firm. I've been in accounting for 7 years, and I've been in public accounting for 5 years. I'm here to speak about a growing problem that we've been experiencing in the firm, and that's employee attrition. Employee attrition is a big problem growing in the firm, and if we don't get a handle on it before it's too late, it can really cost us. I've been speaking with HR, and they've already let me know that the cost of employee attrition can equal up to one half or double the amount of employee salary. So, for instance, a tax manager making $100,000 a year can cost us up to $200,000 due strictly from attrition. So I'm going to go over the symptoms, causes, and the effects that this has on our company. For symptoms, one of the first ones I want to talk about is poor employee engagement. We have a lot of employees here, and a lot of them are very volunteering and they're very open and chummy and talkative, and those are the kind of employees we want to hear. So when you notice employees start to deviate from that behavior, they start to engage less, when they start to volunteer less, they don't participate too much in the Zoom meetings. That's when you can kind of pick up on something might be going on here. That's a symptom of employee attrition. Another symptom would be poor work quality. Poor work quality is probably the biggest thing of all. That leads to many great bigger problems, and I've been noticing it in my own review, where there's been an uptick in mistakes and errors in tax returns that go off to clients. Usually, if you see a lot of small mistakes and errors, that's kind of a symptom that you should know something's going on here. These mistakes can be happening here, and it could be a symptom of employee attrition. And then the last symptom is absenteeism and tardiness. There's been an uptick in tardiness and absenteeism from season to season. This season being the greatest, has been an 8% increase according to our time entry software, that we've been witnessing more employees coming in late or calling out in general. And that is another symptom to employee attrition. And so after doing some focus groups and some one-on-ones with the employees, I've gathered three causes to be the root of this big problem. First cause is the long hours. During tax season, we require 55 mandatory billable hours. That is a lot for some. A lot of us have gotten used to this hours, but for some people, 55 hours mandatory a week is a lot to handle, and it causes a lot of stress for some, and that increases the tiredness that they feel. Another cause would be the workload. During tax season, everyone wants their taxes done by 4/15. They don't want to extend, they don't want to wait for it, they want it all done now. And so the increase of workload really adds to the tiredness and to the stress that our employers are going through. And then the last cause that I want to talk about is the deadlines, the internal deadlines that we impose on our employees. As I mentioned earlier, the tax deadline is 4/15, and if it gets extended, it's 10/15. We have internal summer deadlines of 7/15 that we want to get all the returns out so that we have a lesser burden in October. But in doing that, we're causing more stress on our employees. If returns aren't due until October, we shouldn't have employees working here late in the summertime trying to make up returns, because that only, like I said, adds stress and causes more attrition for our employees. So those are the top three causes that I've gathered from my own personal research. And so the effects of this is employee turnover, increasing employee turnover. A lot more people will start leaving, will start, you know, resigning just because it's too much for them. Another effect of this is client loss. I mean, client and business loss. So over this past season, from last tax season, I've not noticed, I've seen from the number that we've had $100,000 decrease in revenue, about a 10% decrease from last season to this season, and that's one of the effects of the attrition. And the last effect I want to go over is difficulty recruiting. Difficulty recruiting is one of the tougher ones to deal with because, like I said, if we're losing employees due to increased turnover and we're also losing revenue, then that's going to turn away top tier talent that we try to recruit to the firm. No one's going to want to come to a company who's losing revenue and who's also losing employees. It's not a recipe for success. And so I want to share some of the solutions that I have for that. First off, as far as the workload, the billable hours, I feel like we should decrease the mandatory hours from 55 to at least 40 or 45. That'll give the employees some room to breathe and hopefully alleviate a little bit of stress off of their plates. For the workload, I've been looking into overseas outsourcing. we have a lot of work coming in, a lot of taxes coming in, and for some of the easier returns, we can outsource that to overseas so that our employees in house can focus on the more important and more difficult ones, and not have to worry so much about the smaller ones and have those taken care of overseas. And another solution I have for the deadlines is to probably be a little more lenient on those internal deadlines. We don't need to be having people work 50 hours, 55 hours in the summertime, as I said earlier, when returns aren't due until September, October. So those are three quick solutions that I have for us. And I feel like if we can get a handle on that, we can really make a big difference in this employee attrition problem we're having. I am very open to doing more research on this and getting back to you if you feel like this is something you want to look into. And I would be more than happy to get a report set up for you. Thank you.